Coming up on MCTV this week, see how the Monmouth community is adapting to language diversification and learn more about the individual named this year's Lincoln Laureate. This week starts now. Hello and welcome to MCTV this week. For David Edge, I'm Juliana Graff. As part of our Halloween episode last week, we may have inadvertently offended some of our viewers, and we would like to apologize. I randomly picked a hat to wear, which happened to be a sombrero, and randomly to intro a story that spoke about a class helping translate the Monmouth Guide into Spanish. We should have been more sensitive to how bad this could potentially look and how it produced a counter message to the story that we produced and the mission of the overall newscast. We at MCTV hope that if we offended any of our viewers, you would accept our heartfelt apology. We would like to broadcast this story again and give it its proper presentation. The city of Monmouth is growing in diversity, and with that, accommodations for new immigrants are beginning to be made with the help of both English and Spanish-speaking students. Lily Guillen has a story.
Over the course of this fall semester, Professor Timothy Gaster's intermediate Spanish class has teamed up with the Adult English as a Foreign Language program to translate the Monmouth Residence Guide from English to Spanish for new incoming residents. And according to the 2013 census, about 15% of Monmouth's population is Hispanic, but that seems to be increasing with the coming of new immigrants. One of the EFL students, Yoani Vera, an immigrant from Cuba, says that the reason they moved to Monmouth was because her husband obtained a better job at Farmland Foods. Vera says that there are many more families she knows that have moved to Monmouth for the jobs available at Farmland Foods as well. Along with their suitcases and belongings, these newcomers also bring many stories of experiences to the table when meeting with the college students.
I like learning about her life. I think that it's really interesting, some of the things that she's told us. Like that she's been in the United States for 10 years and here in Monmouth for, I think she said 5 years. And the difference between like living where she did before in Florida and the difference between that and living here in Monmouth.
The exchange of cultures and experiences is what Professor Gaster continues to stress to the class. The project they are participating in is not only to literally translate the Residence Guide, but to bring the community together, both on and off campus, especially since some of the newcomers have had trouble getting used to living in a completely different place than what they know. What I like the best about Monmouth is that it is a very calm place. It's very peaceful. Well, at least by where I live, it is a very calm zone. But what I don't like is that since I don't speak English that well, I have not been able to meet as many new people. In addition to the cultural exchange all the students are experiencing, the translation of the new Residence Guide has helped both EFL and college Spanish students understand the languages better, since not everything translates literally. Sometimes it gets too difficult that not even the help of the internet is enough. So it requires the effort to explain as best they can the meaning of a term in order to correctly translate the words or phrases, which has been an effective way to learn the new language for both sides. It has helped me a lot, because being here is a great defense system for us to learn the language. It is essential to know it in all occasions, and for me it is very important and a goal that I have to learn it.
Para mí es muy importante y es una meta que tengo, aprenderlo.
For MCTV, I'm Lily Guillen.
The Monmouth Residence Guide should be translated fully into Spanish by next semester. This group hopes to translate it into other languages as soon as possible.
A professor at Monmouth College was a part of a breakthrough program to reach out to students in the college demographic. Joseph Ngati, former vice president of NBC and currently a visiting professor, helped collaborate with other professors for a nationwide survey for students in the 18 to 24-year-old range. How did they do it? Through the internet. By combining with a company called Triton, Ngati and his colleagues were able to reach students from coast to coast and discuss their views on policies as well as views on the upcoming 2016 election. Polls such as these were originally conducted over the phone. Now young students are using their phones more for the internet and less for calling. And Ngati says that this poll was the first of its kind, reaching 307 students. The results were surprising, and with many having more progressive views on the environmental health and immigration reform as compared to the older poll groups.
I think and I hope that Monmouth College sees a value in conducting this kind of a poll of 18 to 24-year-olds. And just just from the reaction that we've gotten from political editors on online and broadcast and other national news media, I think there's a strong indication that they are interested in reporting more on 18 to 24-year-olds, which they haven't been able to do up until now.
And Gotti hopes that polls like these become more similar, if not more common, than the polls of the surveys of their past.
Each fall, an outstanding senior from each of the 4-year degree granting institutions of higher education in Illinois is awarded the Abraham Lincoln Civic Engagement Award and becomes student laureate of the Lincoln Academy of Illinois. This year's student award was Drake Decker. Drake Decker is a senior business and economics double major from Muscatine, Iowa. In addition to being a model student, he has excelled in co-curricular activities and has served in many positions on
Drake
campus.
received this award because of his involvement in curricular and co-curricular activities, from his academic standing through his athletic involvement and the amount of work he's done with various organizations on campus. He's excelled in all of these areas and is very deserving of this award.
It's just a huge honor. You know, I really didn't expect to get anything, but you know, it's really humbling to receive it, and you know, just really grateful to be recognized.
Decker will address the graduating class at the 2016 commencement ceremony. He will be awarded a Medallion of Lincoln, a Certificate of Merit, and a stipend during the November ceremony in Springfield.
This last Thursday was the annual McMullen Lecture Pseudoscience and Religion. Dr. Massimo Pigliucci, a professor from the University of New York, came and presented a lecture called The Democration Problem, Separating Science, Pseudoscience, and Religion. During his lecture, Pigliucci talked about how pseudoscience, such as anti-vaccination and climate change denial, is dangerous to modern society.
I think the biggest issue at the moment is definitely climate change. The denial of climate change is in fact a pseudoscientific notion, and literally the future of millions of people.
The McMullen Lecture in Biology is named in honor of Dr. Donald McMullen.
Professor of Music Ian Motion Ross took to the keys last Wednesday night for a special recital. Motion Ross is an active recitalist, chamber musician, and accompanist in the region.
Pianists are lucky because probably in terms of a solo instrument, all the best music and all the best composers wrote masterpieces for the piano. Whereas if you're a tuba player, you're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, or that's not true. You borrow a lot of music from other places, things that weren't originally written for the tuba.
Tomorrow, the music department is hosting a guest artist recital featuring clarinetist Jessica Lindsay and pianist Christian Bohnstagel at 7:30 in Dahl Chapel.
Last Monday, the college discussed the family I was born into. In this informational session, different people shared their diverse family backgrounds to better understand the differences between them. First, the group facilitators discussed their family history and background and asked questions to start conversation. After some icebreakers, they broke into smaller groups to share their personal experiences. The family I was born into was put on by the Wackerly Career and Leadership Center.
Taking a look at some events on campus this week, ASAP's after-hours safari night will take place tonight at 8 in Scotland Yard. ASAP is hosting its annual Mama's Got Talent show this Friday at 7 in Dahl. On Friday at 5 in the Moot Boardroom of CSB, the Office of Intercultural Life is hosting a 25th year anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Up next on sports, Fighting Scots football look to remain undefeated in conference play.
Here at Monmouth College, we've discovered many students not throwing away their trash properly. To fix this problem, we've sent a man to go undercover to give the students a little scare. His name is the Literator. If you are here at Monmouth College, be sure to throw your trash away and use the recycle bins. If not, we will send the Literator on you. and he will find you.
Fighting Scots football hosted the Grinnell Pioneers in a conference game last Saturday. Late in the first, Scots up 21-0. Trent Raines takes this one in for a 4-yard touchdown run. The Scots would increase their lead to 28-0. Now to the end of the fourth, Ryan Dumm would run this in from 2 yards out, putting the final nail in the coffin for Grinnell. Scots walk away with the win by a final of 52-0 in the last home game of the season.
I think our leadership went best. You know, we got a great group of seniors, and they know how to prepare for a football game. And you come in heavily favored into this game, you know, and, you know we still got to go out and execute. We got to play it the way that we play. And I thought our guys did a great job preparing all week for a football game, just like they do every week.
The Scots traveled to Knox next weekend for their final game of the regular season. Despite the stormy weather, the Monmouth College men's Fighting Scots soccer team took to the field for their match against Illinois College. Once again, the Fighting Scots put up a very physical performance against the Blue Boys. However, Illinois College was able to score in the 87th minute of the game after this free kick. Monmouth quickly struck back with a goal by senior midfielder Max Daniels, tying the game at 1 apiece. The game went into double overtime before being declared a tie. This Friday starts the Midwest Conference Tournament. That's it for sports. Here are the rest of the scores from this week. For MCTV, I'm Tyler Berneisen.
And I'm David Edge. Make sure to tune in next week for another new edition of MCTV This Week.
And I'm Juliana Graff. You can also watch us on the web by going to monmouthcollege.edu/MCTV. See you next week.